What is up, guys? Welcome back to the show. My name is Daniel. You are watching Edenize, Stewards of Eden. Um, Thank you for tuning in. Before we get into today's content, I do want to mention that I do have a Patreon for you can support me as little as $1 a month and hopefully keep this channel running, as well as potentially support future charity work that I am planning on doing in the next, hopefully, 6 months to a year. You know, life is dynamic, so I don't know if that's going to be the case, but that is my goal. Also, you can support me by going to thewordwoven.com. I have a hoodie company with designs that I have made myself, and they are printed onto 100% organic cotton, 420 GSM hoodies, which means they are highly durable. They're going to last you forever, as well as they've never been sprayed with, the cotton that's grown has never been sprayed with pesticides or insecticides. That is why it is called organic cotton. I didn't know what organic cotton meant for a really long time until about a year or so ago, when I started looking into fashion, and I found that organic cotton simply means that the cotton has never been sprayed with pesticides or insecticides. So when you wear the hoodie, if you have sensitive skin, you're not going to be affected by it, as well as if you don't have sensitive skin, you might get sensitive skin by wearing a lot of clothes where the cotton is grown with pesticides. So with that being said, the link will be in the description. If you want to support me either on Patreon, I'm extremely grateful, or if you want to support me in exchange, get an extremely cool hoodie that has some of my favorite scriptures in the Bible written on the back next to some designs that I've made, I would greatly appreciate that as well. With that being said, let's get into the episode. So, what are blue zones and what are the pillars of blue zones? So, first, blue zones are simply areas, tiny pockets of land where journalists and scientists have found that people are living to up to 100 with vitality and mental clarity. That means that these people are 100 years old and they are walking, they are squatting, and they have meaningful conversations. They are lucid and they are present. They laugh and they sing and they dance. So many people, I hear them say, "Oh, I would never want to live long." And what they're actually saying is that they don't want to be hooked up to a machine where they are, in a diaper, and they just completely feel like they've lost touch with what it means to be alive. However, that is not what blue zones are supporting. Blue zones are supporting mental clarity and vitality. So with that being said, blue zones are regions of the world where people live significantly longer and healthier lives. Research has identified 9 common lifestyle habits, often referred to as the Power 9 or the 9 pillars of blue zones. Pillar 1, move naturally. Don't rely on gyms or a specific fitness ideology to burn your calories and get your fitness. Move naturally. Incorporate natural movements into your daily routine. Rather than relying on structured exercise, engage in activities like gardening, walking, and manual labor. These things incorporate things such as squatting, as well as inclines and declines, so your balance stays good, which is extremely important as you age. And manual labor also keeps your core and your arms strong, which is going to be extremely important for you later in life. The second pillar is called Ikigai, which specifically comes from the people of Okinawa, who they are the ones who have the strongest purpose. Okay, Ikigai just means purpose. So having a strong sense of purpose, having a reason to wake up in the morning is huge for these people. It's huge once you get later into life. This provides motivation and contributes to your overall well-being. Number 2 or 3, excuse me, downshift. Blue zone inhabitants have routines to manage their stress, such as prayer, meditation, or simply just taking naps. Now, taking naps does not mean being a couch potato, but that means going out into your garden in the morning, and then when the sun is at its peak, take a nap. Once the sun is no longer at its peak, wake back up again and start gardening again. Living like this later in your life can add years to your life. With that being said, and I keep saying that, I need to stop saying that. It's become, okay. With that being said, the next rule is the 80% rule. Stop eating when you're 80% full. It prevents overconsumption, and it prevents laziness and gluttony. So many people believe that when you stuff yourself full of food, it demotivates you to move, to walk. And what they have found in these blue zones is that so many times in these cultures, after you eat your dinner, it is extremely common to sing and dance and drink wine, especially in places like Italy. Um, and if you are absolutely stuffed to the gills, you're not going to be able to dance. You might throw up. Someone might accidentally hit you in the stomach with their elbow and you will throw up. So, eating to 80% consumption is a huge way to keep the body, to keep it fueled, but to not weigh it down. Next is the plant slant, as they call it. Their diets are primarily plant-based with a focus on legumes, vegetables, and fruits. All of the blue zones that have been found, these people oftentimes are 95 to 100% plant-based vegetarians. And just to kind of clarify the difference between plant-based and vegetarian, when I say plant-based, it's simply excluding dairy. Dairy is and animal products is not considered plant-based. And so what they found is that these people are 95 to 90 or to 100% plant-based. They're just eating legumes, vegetables, and fruits, which is phenomenal. The next principle is wine at 5. I personally don't drink alcohol, so this doesn't apply to me. But for everyone who does drink alcohol, they have found that in these blue zones, it is common to drink a moderate consumption of with wine, with particularly with your friends, and food is common. So with that being said, this is kind of touching on the topic that I was talking about earlier with the 80% rule. It is extremely common to eat till you are 80% full on a vegetarian diet, and then drink a little bit of wine and dance with your friends. And these people that are doing this live long, and they have mental clarity, and they have vitality. So we are down to the last 3. Belong somewhere. Strong connections to faith-based communities are prevalent in these blue zones, which is phenomenal. I highly implore everyone to watch the Netflix documentary Blue Zones Live to 100. It is on Netflix. It is by Dan Buttner. He is the one who published this website and some of these journals, and some of these studies. When I was watching this documentary as a Christian, I was blown away that they have found that a strong connection to faith-based communities makes you live longer. I mean, it's something that's intuitive to me as a Christian, but a secular documentary platform saying these things was truly mind-blowing and extremely affirming. And so, yeah, with that being said, find a place where you belong, find a community. If you're not religious, I'm not saying become religious just for the sake of community, but find community. If you're younger in age, sometimes this community looks like sports or our martial arts, or sometimes it just looks like a book club. But find that community, and find many communities. Don't just find one and anchor yourself down to it. Find many communities and meet a lot of people, and spread your wings a little bit, even if you're antisocial. I'm personally not socially awkward. I consider myself awkwardly social, which means that I like to talk to people, but I'm awkward when I do it. So I'm not socially awkward. I'm just a little awkwardly social. So with that being said, the next one being loved ones first. Prioritizing family relationships is a key value in blue zones. They find that many of these people live in multi-generational homes. Sometimes there's 3 to 4 generations living on one plot of land. That doesn't necessarily mean they're on the same in the same house, but a mother-in-law suite or a house down the road, or being in the same neighborhood is huge, being in a close enough distance to where your little kids can run to grandma and grandpa's house, it's huge for people when they get into their older age. And it's just common sense. I personally, my grandpa has passed away, but watching him interact with his grandkids, including me growing up, I saw the purpose and the value that he had from that. In fact, at a very young age, I've determined that one of my life goals is to become a grandparent. I truly think it's one of the most beautiful relationships a human being can have. Um, and how much more beautiful is it when your kids can walk to their grandma and grandpa's house? It keeps your parents, and yeah, it keeps your parents engaged when you live near them. Um, Obviously, this isn't possible for everyone, and that is also where community comes in. Potentially, if you are in a church, um, some of the older ones in your church, let your kids go visit them. Let your kids go talk to them, and you also go hang out with them. Give them that interaction, and then when you're older, seek those interactions out yourself. Lastly, the right tribe. Cultivate social circles that support healthy behaviors. Support social circles where it's natural to sing and dance, where it's natural to eat a vegetarian diet, where it's natural to belong. Um, Being in the right tribe that is going to promote you to garden and to move and go on walks with them, go visit nature with them. Being in the right tribe is huge the later in life you are. With that being said, some of the sources will be in the bottom, in the description. I mean, but for you, if you don't want to click on the links in the description, you can go to www.brownhealth.org to look at some of the articles they've written, or www.bchd.org. And then there's some other science and health journals that are sources that I am pulling for these studies. With that being said, lastly, I do have a Patreon, like I say in the beginning of the video. Just support me at Daniel McCormick for as little as $1 a month, and I'm hoping that it can keep this channel going, as well as potentially help me found some charities later on in the future that hopefully can spread some of these principles to the world. And lastly, if you don't want to support on Patreon, just check out my hoodies at thewordwoven.com. The link will be in the description. And in exchange for supporting this channel, you get a super cool Christian hoodie. And even if you're not a Christian, they are just cool hoodies. And some of them touch on some important topics like anxiety and things like that. So regardless of if your beliefs or not, check them out, see if you like them. And yeah, thank you for listening. This has been Daniel McCormick with Edenize, Stewards of Eden.